At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Molly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, not a lot of drama, but that's okay. We had 6 games to bet on. Phenomenal. Monday Night Football, Rams, Vikings, first touchdown, Williams, 5-1.
Okay, so JVT and I talked about this near the end of the show yesterday. I think you and I brought this up down the stretch, maybe before that primetime game against the 49ers. If you missed the show, here's what I'm going to tell you. Kyren Williams now, after last night, has scored the Rams' first touchdown. Not the first touchdown of the game. Several of them have been, but specifically the Rams' first touchdown of the game 13 out of 17 times now.
Oh, wow.
And he was still 2-1 last night, and I did not bet it. And I had it right in front of me, and I'm talking about it. Unbelievable.
How about Allen? Anytime touchdown, 14-1.
Boy, their tight ends were great last night.
Higbee went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Apparently he's going to play, though, Sunday. Yep. He had 58 yards at halftime. Defensive touchdown, plus 280. Hold on to the ball, Sam. Rams win.
Did you have that one?
Yeah, of course. Bad. Rams win by 15 to 20 points, 18-1. Scoreless quarter again, plus 375. Most receiving yards. Hawkinson, 15-1.
Was that in the game? 15
in the game?
Oh.
Yeah, well, come on. Jefferson, Addison, Puka, yeah. Super Wild Card Weekend props. Most passing yards, Stroud, plus 775. No one threw for 300 yards, and only one game had a guy go for 100 receiving. Most rushing, Henry, 3-1. Most receiving, McConkey, 14-1. Most points, Texans, 28-1.
Oh,
Fewest
wow.
points, Denver, 5-1. Highest scoring game, Texans, Chargers, the only game that went over, plus 750. Lowest scoring game, Eagles, Packers, 6-1. Saturday, Chargers, Texans, first touchdown, Collins, plus 850. Defensive touchdown, plus 280. Missed extra point, plus 240. The result of the Texans' first drive, turnover, plus 650. Mixon, 100 yards, 3-1. Touchdown and 100 yards, plus 465. Nico, touchdown and 100 yards, plus 315. Mixon and Collins, touchdown, plus 375. McConkey to score and have 100 yards, plus 475. Most receiving yards in the game was cheap. I'll get to Saturday in a second. Texans alt minus 3.5 plus 205. Texans win by 20 points, 16-1.
Yeah.
Mercy. Steelers Ravens first touchdown, Bateman 8-1. Jefferson anytime touchdown 8-1. Henry 2 scores and the Ravens win plus 325. Pickens and Bateman to score plus 675. Scoreless quarter, vicious. Nothing in the fourth quarter 3-1. Ravens by 8 to 14 points. 4-1. Broncos Bills first touchdown Franklin 50-1 anytime plus 850. Bills by 21 3-1 or more. Bills by 21.5 alt plus 275. Packers Eagles first touchdown Dotson 65-1. Under 39.5 alt under plus 205. Missed extra point plus 240. Eagles to win between 8 and 14 points plus 480, and the Eagles from 3.5 to 5.5. Commanders, Bucks. Will any game have a walk-off winner at the gun? Plus 350. First touchdown, Browns, 65-1. McLaurin and Evans to both score, plus 355. Daniels 2 scores and Washington wins, plus 445. Commanders win between 1 and 7 points, 3-1. Most passing yards Sunday, Allen plus 350. Most passing yards Saturday, Stroud, same price. Most receiving yards Sunday, Evans 4-1. McConkey Saturday plus 310. The prop over 1.5 missed extra points plus 145 cashes. FA Cup over the weekend, Man U plus 440. Weekend college hoops, USC 7-1, shocked Illinois. LaSalle plus 650, beat the Bonnies. Old Dominion 9-1. Vatech plus 260, New Mexico State plus 250, they won by 30. Monday in the NBA, the Pistons plus 270, Knicks, bad stretch. Raptors plus 175, Friday the Kings were 5-1. And beat the Celtics on the road. College basketball last night, Rutgers plus 175. Morgan State plus 425. New Orleans 8-1. Hockey, the Ducks plus 415 against Carolina. Tie in regulation plus 450. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. You want a hippopotamus? Here it is. This is it. You nailed it. This is the bully. This is the kind of dog I want. How good. These guys are a tank. Look at these guys, right? Got me a little banana. Get the water, get the hose in the mouth, and a little nap. Look at them. And the giveaways, the ears. You nailed it. These guys are awesome. I got a ton of videos I sent them with these guys, with the bully. Those are good-looking dogs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's excellent. That's one hippopotamus. Now, how about this guy? They get his workout every day with the door. Look at him. They're outside, and he's trying to get back in, and he is getting a running start. He just, with the front paws, pounding that door, trying to get that thing to open, and it's almost going to bust. And there's some give and take there. I think he's going to be able to get that thing.
First of all, how is that dog built like that? He's got more muscles than I do.
Yes, right.
He's the last person you want to run into at 1 o'clock that's looking for a bar fight.
That's right. He is built. He's an ice cube, and he's just pounding the door trying to get in about let me in, and he's going to blow that thing over. Lose some, Chargers under 44.5 down to 41.5. Overs went 1-5. Super wild card weekend. Bad for the books. T-Wolves from 12 up to 14.5 last night. Fell 14. Bad beat just happened that Mitch mentioned. Man City was 150 against Brentford. 2-0 Man City, 83rd minute draw. Brentford comes back. Man City blows another one. How about that? That would have been a sick price in play. What's going on at Liverpool?
1-1 extra time, like 94th minute.
All right, that's like plus 350 draw. Chargers, Texans under 42. How? 13-6, 30 seconds left, third quarter. Then the egregious pick 6 by Herbert. How does that go over?
That's a bad one.
Ravens, Steelers over. Scoreless fourth quarter. Last night, Rockets 2.5 and under 236.5. Bain hit a 3, down 5 from 30 feet at the buzzer.
Yeah, there's your double whammy.
Double whammy. 120 to 118. Houston. Instead of Houston and under, it comes Memphis and over. Nuts. Ready to try something different? Sign up, start playing the ponies on First Bet. First Bet US-based, offers wagering on hundreds of races every day across the country and around the world. Sign up firstbet.com, promo code VSIN200, claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days, up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today.
So where are you at mentally with the 14 teams that get into the playoffs now, Super Wildcard Weekend, and only one team getting a bye from each conference? Do you like it compared to the former playoff format that we had?
Yeah, I like it.
The 7 seeds have no chance, though. The Packers last year blowing out the Cowboys, the only one. Every other 7 seed has gotten just pretty much destroyed.
Yeah, I'm okay with it because it's more football. I don't know if I'd rather have back-to-back triple headers and get rid of the Monday night.
I would. I would rather do that. I think it's unfair to them. Yeah, and then
I agree.
But like you said, so then the teams that play on Saturday then play on the following Saturday. How do we have playoff teams who are going to have one day short of rest? It's happening to the Rams against the Eagles, and it's happening to the Commanders.
Well, it's a tough spot.
Against a team coming off the bye?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
Yep.
There's no I like the idea of the Monday night game, but I do also think it's unfair like I'm talking about. So go double, triple header. That'd be great. Here's why it's not going to go anywhere. Because I'm sure the ratings last night, despite it being a blowout, millions of people watched. The game on Sunday night, this is Tampa Bay and Washington we're talking about here. 29 million people watched the game. Now, that was the only dramatic game. Came down to the wire, obviously. Mm-hmm. But if 29 people were watching that game, and I don't know what the ratings were last night, but if that was a close game, that would have had 25, 30 million people watching it last night as well. And so they're going to look at this and say, yeah, what are we thinking here? We're not going to go back to 6 teams getting in. That's it. I would prefer 2 teams getting a bye from each conference. I like that idea more. But I think that ship has sailed big time now in the NFL. Have you bet anything yet? Player props are already out.
I know, it's great. I missed 10.5 down the street on the Commanders. They opened the Lions 10.5.
It's back to 9.5 now. If it touches 10, it'll probably go there for 8 seconds and then disappear. But if you pay attention, it might go to 10 at some point again this week.
That's a lot of points.
That's a big number.
Man.
Moneyline parlay. Chiefs, Lions. You want to throw the Eagles on there? Ohio State?
Well, that's the thing. I know. David Purdum's coming up at the bottom of the hour. ESPN Chalk, and he had that article of how the favorites have crushed it this year in the NFL, and then Ohio State wins and covers, Baltimore wins and covers, the Bills win and cover, the Eagles win and cover.
Yeah. I did that 3-team money line parlay.
Yeah,
I should have done another one where I just used the points.
And then everyone's going to tease Lions and Chiefs on Saturday.
No question. And probably put on Ohio State.
That's right. That's
in the Monday night.
Yep. But this is also a great weekend coming up, too, now that we've adjusted the calendar. The big boys coming out on Saturday, 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. We'll get to determine who's making the title game, and then you have the playing for all the marbles in college on Monday night. That's a great schedule, too.
That's a really good weekend.
Yep. But it's funny how it goes. College football, blowouts, ridiculous. Okay.
NFL.
Well, the college games were great, and the NFL did blowouts except one game.
So maybe goes that way in the NFL, too. I mean, we'll get probably, what do we have, 6 games left before the Super Bowl? 2 of them will probably be good, maybe 3. Up next, they're playing great basketball, and as a result, are laying a massive number tonight against a really good team in college basketball.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
This story in the NBA, I know it's a little bit old, going back to like last year, but the updates are coming in on a daily basis now involving Jontay Porter, former Raptors player who was involved in this betting scandal. The details are ridiculous, and I can't even believe that some of the people involved, it would get to this point, Paulie. And David Purdom has done an incredible job writing about it at ESPN.com, and he joins the program now here on the Progressive Guest Line. David, thanks for the time as always. We appreciate it. Hope you're well. What is the latest update, by the way? Can you give us some of the details on a Vegas man who was recently arrested?
Yep, on Sunday at Harry Reid International Airport there in Las Vegas, Shane Hennon, who's kind of a known poker player, sports bettor around town, was arrested while he was attempting to board a flight to Colombia by the federal government. He has been charged with conspiracy for wire fraud transactions related to the Jontay Porter betting scandal. He appeared in court on Monday and was released, but is now expected to head back to Brooklyn, where this case is being prosecuted out of here in the coming weeks.
Why was he going to go to Colombia?
He told the feds he had to get some dental work done in Colombia, and that was his thing. He had multiple cell phones on him, about $10,000, just under $10,000 in cash when they found him. And according to the feds, a document they posted, they have substantial evidence that Mr. Hennon was allegedly involved in a bunch of different fraudulent sports betting transactions. So there's still a little more to come on this story for sure.
Oh, God. The story's excellent, and you're reporting. How about in the article with Porter texting these guys at halftime about the plan? Hey, my eye's bothering him. I'm going to say it hurts like heck. I'm going to get out of here, or I'm going to do this in the next game. Don't leak it. Don't tell anyone. And then Henman's telling everyone. And then he's also betting $25,000 parlays.
Yeah, he was working through a bunch of proxy bettors, evidently. A lot of these bets were these single game, same game parlays. DraftKings and FanDuel isn't there in Nevada. So if he was in Nevada trying to make those bets, he wouldn't have been able to as easily. So he had to reach out to his proxies out there, and this is according to the federal documents, and get all these bets down, including some pretty big ones. You wouldn't think they would be willing to take, a couple $1,000s on a parlay, $20,000 on a parlay involving under bets all on one player. It seems like it stuck out, pretty evidently. And the books, to their credit, they did flag them, right? Hey, something is up here, and that's where we're at.
So when people hear that, they're like, wait, $20,000 on a parlay with player props, how, and other people are getting limited over the years to like $5 on stuff or maybe less than that. Can you explain to people why somebody might be allowed to get down that much money?
Yeah, they call them a clean account, right? You get this new account and it hasn't been flagged for any kind of sharp play, or the algorithms the sports books use to identify sharp play it hasn't triggered on this account. And so when these clean accounts that they call them are worth a bundle, and people will try to get a hold of these guys that have these clean accounts and use them to place larger bets than they would be able to if they have been placed on a bet that's been way established, an account that's, been way established and shown some sort of signs of sophisticated betting, and it's triggered the algorithm that makes them, limit these bettors. So he had a lot of these accounts, evidently. The government described in the documents that he has a network of proxy bettors across the nation. And it was one of the reasons they were hesitant. They did not want him to be released. They wanted him to be detained after he got arrested because they thought that these network of bettors and these proxies might be able to help him kind of evade the authorities.
Excellent job. David Purdom on the Progressive Guest Line, ESPN. Follow the Money, Paulie and Mitch Veasan, the Sports Betting Network. The other story you had, two of them, was how bad home dogs were this year in the NFL and how favorites crushed it. And John Murray at the Westgate had the great line, it'd be cool if a dog could win a game. Well, then tie that into what happened this past weekend again. Ohio State wins and covers, Ravens win and cover, Eagles win and cover, Bills win and cover. What did bookmakers tell you?
It wasn't good. They said that this was one of the most costly NFL seasons overall. FanDuel reported that it downgraded its guidance, its financial guidance. I believe it was like $350 million, somewhere around there for the third quarter there, because of customer-friendly results in the NFL. Favorites won more games than they ever have in any season dating back several years. Now we've gone to a 17-game season, but this was the most that they had ever won in a season, just straight up. And they had a pretty good record against the spread. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was 54%, which was one of the better records against the spread. So public loves to bet the favorites, and the favorites delivered this year.
Now, how about the New York story? Put this in perspective. What's happened since New Year's Eve on what happened, New Year's Day, on what's happened in New York?
So New York is one of the only states that reports the amount wagered and the amount won by the sports books on a week-to-week basis. And last week, they reported, and this is the week that was ending at January 5th. It covered New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Week 18 of the NFL. Well, when they reported it, $600 million had been bet with New York sports books during that week. That's the most ever since they legalized it. It's significantly more than last year, over $100 million I was looking at compared to last year around that same time. So the college football playoffs, some big NFL games, including that Vikings game, Vikings-Lions game, that was the last one. Big money was wagered in New York. It really set records.
Okay, I get like more games have been on the schedule, but 6 times the amount, same time frame from a year ago, that seems impossible.
Well, it's 100 million times, 100 million more. They had 500 million around there last year. It went up to 600 million.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said it was 100 million the year before. My apologies. Okay.
No. About a 20% increase, which is still incredible. And you think that, okay, the difference was, according to the sports books, I think Joey Fiesel over at Caesars would tell me, he thought it was just that there was those meaningful college football games, those big ones. We had the playoffs all through there, compared to when you had those those bowl games in the years past where they didn't really matter. And he thought that was the big increase. And certainly the books enjoyed it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Were you surprised at the Notre Dame money the last few days?
I was. I really was. They said that they got hit. Sharps got hit on Texas betting against Ohio State right at the gun before the game started then. And then again this week, the national championship game line, it was all the way up to 8.5, 9.5. It's down to 8 at a lot of places. I even see a 7.5 at DraftKings when I was looking here just a little bit. Again, they reported sharp money. John Murray, you guys just talked about, he said that they took a sharp bet on Notre Dame plus 9.5 on Sunday, right after, and the day after that they had opened the game. Caesars also reported some sophisticated action on Notre Dame, and that's driving the number down. Now, I will note that, 9's not a super key number here, right? So if you're trying to drive that number down and then come back heavy on Ohio State, maybe this is what you do it. And it hasn't gotten down to 7 or any kind of key number like that. If it does, that'll really tell you something.
Well, I mean, is that really, do you think there's a scenario where that does take place? I know that people have been kicking that around. Like if it touches 7, then I know other groups are going to come in and bet Ohio State. But do you think it will get down to a flat 7?
I do not.
Okay.
It's 7.5, and there was some extra juice on DraftKings Caesar seemed to think that it could get down there close, and they were kind of basing that on that money that they saw laid on Texas. They seem to think that the Ohio State has been so impressive, right? And their numbers have really grown. Some of these point spreads on these look-ahead games have really grown to where they are now. And some people think that Ohio State's a little overinflated now. They've been so good.
Great job, sir. Keep up the good work. We'll reach out soon.
You got it, guys. I hope to see you around Super Bowl.
You
All
got
right,
it.
beautiful. That was awesome.
I can't believe the Porter story, and he's right. There's probably more to come out, but it's like when you read the article, Porter's telling him what he's going to do about, hey, the eye's giving me problems. I'll say I'll come out at halftime, or hey, I'm going to play it. It's a blowout. I'm going to take a ton of shots, whatever.
I'm going to take a million shots.
He's
is what he
texting
said.
at halftime, right?
Yes.
And then Henman, this guy who got arrested, dental work guy, he's taking the screenshots and he's sending them out to people after Porter saying, don't leak it, don't say anything. And this guy's then telling everybody.
Yeah.
Then, of course, killing the golden goose and doing $30,000 parlays.
Hey, you might want to keep this one quiet
God.
rather than spreading it like, well, I was going to say something there. I won't now. But he's a rabid anti-dentite now, probably, after getting arrested at Harry Reid International Airport.
A lot of
Going to
dental.
Colombia. What are you going to do in Colombia?
Uh-huh, yeah.
I need my teeth fixed,
One-way ticket.
Yes, right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I might enjoy it down there. Who knows?
Henman. Oh, this is good. Oh, damn. What a story.
This is it's not even once in a lifetime. It's once in like 100 lifetimes to be in this spot, and then you just
You blew it.
you totally blew it.
You could have had, yeah. Perfect scenario, because you had it 4 or 5 times where he gave out the information.
But also, I got to
Or is that-
question the acting chops here by Porter as well.
Yeah.
I think
Right,
people
why?
probably would have caught on to that guy's. I got got something in my eye again. I got to come out.
Yeah, he wasn't good. You needed a better player. Like Headache Smith at Arizona State was perfect. He was the best player on the team that would guard the best player.
Yeah.
Then he could say, I knew if I just gave this guy an inch,
Yep.
he'd not make the shot, but I could make it look good.
Up next, we'll dive into the NBA card with player props as well. Don't look now, but they have the 3rd best net rating in the league during this recent hot stretch. It's Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Welcome back. We are live, as always, in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. It is an absolutely loaded card tonight in college basketball. And Dallin Cuff is kind enough to join us here an hour before tip-off for a lot of these games, and he is on the Progressive Guest Line, does a great job with the college hoops coverage on ESPN. Dallin, thanks for the time today. How are you?
Fellas, let's go. We're almost done with college football, so we get to really focus on basketball. We're almost there, but this is a big day. A big day. Yeah.
You can taste it, right? So let's begin with some of these matchups in the SEC. Bama's playing great basketball. They are battle-tested. They played a hell of a schedule. They're not doing it with a three-point shot, by the way. So I think that's kind of easy to assume that they're going to be hitting these, going 15 threes on 30 attempts every game. Not the case, beating really good teams. They get a solid Ole Miss team tonight, but they're laying 12.5 in this spot. What do you make of that number?
Well, I will say this. They may not take as many threes as I'm not saying they're not reliant on the three as much.
Okay.
But you still have to respect it. You still have to guard it. That's still how they're built. So when you have to close out on guys, that's what they want. They want paint touches. They want layups. They want fouls. And then the three is still there. So based on how they play, I'm still top 20 in the nation in terms of three-point attempts versus field goal attempts. So you still have to, you can't ignore that. It's just they're not reliant on it. Also defensively, they're better than they were last year. They're like the team closer to the team 2 years ago when they were the number 1 overall seed with Brandon Miller, because they got bigs in the interior that can guard. They're better on the perimeter in terms of their defensive capabilities. And I'll say this: Ole Miss is good. I don't think they can hang in this game. I just don't think they can score enough. They're going to want to try to slow it down. They'll throw in that zone at times, and I don't think Alabama's scared of that zone at all. And that is a raucous place to play when they are up against other SEC opponents. We've seen it in recent years. Maybe Alabama's fans have gotten used to being really good on the hardwood and have not made it that tough. I feel like this is a game they'll show up and show out in, and I think Alabama really controls this game. And Ole Miss, I just don't think they can hang with them and score enough points despite trying to slow this thing down.
They can't do that, though? Ole Miss can't control tempo?
They can try. The difference is part of it to do it. The zone is one part. You got to make shots. And that's where I question, does Ole Miss have the ability to put the ball in the basket enough that then Alabama has to take it out of their hoop? And they still will try to push. But on the miss, Alabama's going. And that's what I think they're going to do, is create enough opportunities off the rebound to go out there. And again, defensively, they are better. And Ole Miss, their schedule, especially in the non-league, was not challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And they've gone on the road here. They've had a couple decent showings on the road, but again, those opponents weren't particularly good. And when the teams that were good, they got rolled. So I think that's what we're going to look at today.
Kentucky is better at home than they are on the road. They've also played a pretty solid schedule. They're elite offensively. Defense still maybe a little bit shaky. They get a really good Texas A&M team tonight at Rupp Arena. This number is now touching 7. I get it. The Aggies are without Wade in this game again, third straight game. But again, that's again, to me, it's a huge number here for Kentucky.
Yeah, I kind of like A&M here in this spot. It's really about, without Wade Taylor, that is a huge loss. But they have played well without him, and part of the way they've played well, their best offense guys is thrown at the rim at the time. I mean, they're number 1 in the nation in offensive rebound percentage. I think it's like 44% of their misses. And this is what I wonder about this Kentucky team. They're all grown men. They're adults. These guys are average, like, 23 years and change with this Kentucky team. Most of the guys are on the floor. Are they tough enough to really – you got to want to have the physical battle with A&M every single time that thing hits the rim. I'm not sure they want that as much. I think A&M can cover here. As we've seen before, Kentucky can be a tough place to play, but Rupp is not the jungle in terms of playing at Auburn. Rupp is not the same type of crowd. It has we know what we're looking at in Rupp Arena. It's tough, but it's not the same to me as some of the other SEC schools that have really relished in recent years at being relevant. So I think A&M can cover this number. They could sneak out a win. I'd be surprised at that. You're going to have to score. I think A&M's going to have to score a lot on their second chances. That's what they're going to say in this game.
Is Mississippi State like Ole Miss, where you lost to Butler? And maybe you just padded your resume on the non-conference. What do you think of Miss State taking on Auburn here in about 7.5?
Well, I think Mississippi State is better. I think they have better guard play. They can make more shots. Just plain and simple. I think they have more options and more guys that can make plays and create for them. I think they have a little bit more of a toughness there too with what they've built out of that team, that program. The thing with Auburn, I'm not going to play this game pre-tip. I want to see how they go after the game tips off without Chani Broome. Because there's one thing, I really think Auburn's response to the night against South Carolina, when Broome went down, they were already down 2. They came out and banged a couple threes right away. These guys, they have 8 seniors, including Broome, that play on that team. And Pettifer, the one freshman, they mixed in some other guys. But by and large, it is a very much a senior-led group. And when he went down, they stepped up. And I think they can do that tonight. As I mentioned, playing in the jungle is absolutely brutal. But I'm interested to see when you game plan and play without him, how they're prepared for that. And Mississippi State, what they want to do to counter that. So I'm going to lay off here. My lean would be to lay the 8 with Auburn. But I think Mississippi State's a better team and maybe more equipped to hang in this thing, especially without Broome. But we'll see once they tip it up what we're looking at.
By the way, what did you think of the injury when you first saw it? And then as somebody who, you know a ton about basketball, playing it, watching it, injuries, the whole thing, the report came out like maybe 2 weeks. I mean, when that first happened, I thought, well, he's done for the year, and there goes my future on that team.
No, not that drastic. I think anybody that's played it, this has happened all the time. I think anytime you slow that down and you see that ankle bend, that hurts and that sucks. I mean, I was sitting in studio and we were on since noon, so the 1 o'clock game they tipped at 1, so that was off the normal rhythm, if you will. So we were really locked into that game when we saw him go down right away, and they replayed and zoomed it. I thought, okay, it's twisted ankle. You hope there's no break. Rarely that happens, but you hope there's no break. There's no break. And once that, it's really about where the ankle sprain is. If it's a lower ankle sprain, that is better. And if it's 2 weeks, it seems that's likely. High ankle sprains are more problematic. Usually they linger longer. They're harder to recover from. So we'll see. And obviously he's an elite athlete, but how your body responds and how you kind of keep your wind too. We'll see when he comes back, but hopefully it is just a couple weeks. I think they have a bye week too at the end of the month here. They don't have a midweek game, which helps a little bit in recovery. I thought it was a twisted ankle and your hope it's not broke, and that's good.
2 things on this. Another great game in the SEC. Florida, which you like. You can state your case for Florida at home against Missouri. And also your call. Joe Lunardi last week had 13 SEC teams in. Now he's got 11. What about the conundrum for the committee if the SEC is going to get 12 or 13 bids?
Guys, I don't think it's a conundrum. When you watch the games, I mean, it's hard to argue right now. It's like, hey, you're not supposed to look at the conferences. You're supposed to look at the individual team beats and their resume and who they beat. And the problem is, at one point, right around Christmas, they were 86% win percentage against the other Power 4 team, Power 5, because you include the Big East and basketball. That number's down to, I think it was down to like 77 or 78. That's wild, especially some of the better teams having big wins over other teams, the middling teams having wins over other places, other conferences, top teams or expected top teams. it's surprising. In particular, the ACC took some lumps in that regard a lot in terms of some of those teams. Now, this league, the thing that makes the league great and why I'm really okay with them being rewarded and breaking the 2011 record by the Big East, it's the quality of the product, guys. Like they play fast. Mm-hmm. They got athletes. They can make shots. They have shot makers. They are super well coached. Like, we're watching really good games and really good basketball in phenomenal environments. So for you to win on the road in that league makes it even more difficult. So I think the SEC is a gauntlet every single night. I'm enjoying watching it more than we have seen the Big 12 in recent years. Hey, it's the best league. But some of those things, man, I'd rather go down to Publix and watch them unload the truck sometimes when it's 55-52. That's not happening. That's not happening here. We're seeing, some serious guys that can play in a more modern style. So I love it. What I love Florida here too is Missouri is a team that, again, they've got some older guys and they've had some decent performances. Obviously, beating KU was a big deal, but KU is not Florida. I think Florida, I've talked to a couple different shows before the season. That was the one. I don't love future bets to win championships. Florida's the one team I liked. It was about 20-1 in most books around then. You could find it at 25-1 before they blew, after they lost to Kentucky last week, which was crazy to me, given they put up 100 on the road. Mm-hmm. And then now they beat Tennessee. That number comes way down. So you're going to see the Gators, I'm all in on. They got 3 elite guards. They got bigs that can protect the rim, but also can step out and shoot it. They're second or third now in offensive rebounding percentage, and they are much better defensively this year, much better than they were last year. I think Missouri just cannot hang with them in that building. Again, it's come back to, can you score enough? Missouri, particularly in league play, now it's not a huge sample size yet, but you're seeing as they've stepped up in class, their inability to stop teams from making shots, particularly threes. Florida can shoot the ball well. I think the Missouri Tigers, like, 3-point percentage against is like 44%, and they're not limiting attempts either. So teams are getting them up, they're making them. And the Gators, again, defensively, I think are going to kind of overwhelm these guys. So I'm okay laying the 11. I may do the half and full games. I think it's 7 and 11. So I may double down with the Gators. I'm all about them.
All right, let's go to the Big Ten here. It's Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Alan Cuff, ESPN, our guest. Illinois laying 3.5 or 4 tonight at Indiana. Ken Pom has Illinois ranked 13th right now. And when you look at the best teams that the Hoosiers have played this year, 4 of them basically like in the top 40. They've gotten spanked in every one of those games. Not close, all blowouts. And did this number just tick up? Is that now up to 5.5 now? Wow. So if that's accurate, money coming in here on Illinois, what do you think here?
Well, it's also, I'm interested too. Is Yakashunas in? I have not looked this.
He's got to be in right now if that's going to be the point spread move there.
I would think, but I don't know. But that dude is really good. But again, they played well one game without him, and then they got worked against USC. With turning the ball over, they looked out of sorts. Yep. They took bad shots. They didn't defend as well. The thing with the Hoosiers guys is I can't back Indiana. I just can't. They've shown some number 6 now. They've shown some spurts at different times, but they are really built inside out, which is a little bit archaic for what we see in college basketball or in basketball in general. A lot of college teams, even in the Big Ten now, are changing to play way more Illinois plays with the guards and space and pace and ability to defend on the perimeter. I like to say that I would lean Illinois, despite that being on the road. I think 6 now concerns me. When it was 3.5, 4, we saw earlier in the day, I like that. I see the money coming in. I get it. And that means maybe Yakashunas is playing for sure. But I don't love it. But I can't back the Hoosiers. I'm not going to play this game. I think there's enough on the board, but I can't. The Hoosiers, I think, are a team that ultimately are not going to make the tournament, and people are going to be pretty disappointed and may have a couple.
It looks like Malik Reneau is out for the game tonight, averaging 14 points per game.
That's important. There you go. Well, there you go.
All right. What would your best bet be tonight?
I like St. Louis plus 10, guys. They're playing at VCU, and I like VCU a lot. It's a tough. That's again, a Siegel Center is a tough place to play, and St. Louis has not had good performances there. But this is a different St. Louis team. Josh Schertz, obviously, his first year coaching from Indiana State. Those guys are rounding into form. They're not fully healthy. They're not deep, but they can shoot it. They play together. They play a difficult style to defend. And VCU, as talented as they are, I think St. Louis can win the game. If I feel they can win the game, give me the 10. So give me the Billikens on the road. I think they may end up being the A10 champion, even over Dayton when this thing's said and done in March.
Very good. Dallin, that was awesome. Good luck tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Later.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're on.
All right, out sick yesterday. Horrible weekend. Player props couldn't get there in a funky week with Super Wild Card Weekend. No one threw for 300 yards, and only one game had 100-yard receivers, as we talked about. Every team to score 10 points, plus 160 here at Circa. No dice. 2 teams couldn't do it. Denver 7, Minnesota 9. All kind of wrong on Herbert. He'd only throw, first time in NFL history, someone had more interceptions in a game than the whole season. He had 3 the whole year, through 4.
That's an amazing stat. Wow.
I know. How could you? Oh, one of them was Disley. I'll tell you, that's a different game, though, for 2 plays. If Disley makes that catch, that's going to be a 1st and goal. They'll go up probably double digits.
Yeah.
And then the Stroud play. It's 6-0. It's not called intentional grounding, which will have been a safety. And then they fire it over his head. It somehow bounces right up to him. He completes the pass. It leads to points in a touchdown. Somehow. Horrible beat, too, if you had Chargers first half as well. But that's, like Ryan said after the game, flip the game. And then Herbert would not take off and run. It was also right there for him.
Yeah, you're right.
Herbert rushing yards over, loser. Russell Wilson rushing yards over, loser. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, each team a touchdown and a field goal. No good, no field goal. No field goal in the game. Vikings first quarter. Second best team in the league this season. Rams, second worst. Rams right down the field. Easy winner Friday night with the Thunder, who led by 30 in the second quarter in New York. What a performance. Every team to score a touchdown's a winner. That did get there. Buccaneers first quarter. I'll give them credit. That's another reason why you can sing the praises of Cohen. 13 times this year they scored on their opening drive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Great job.
Yeah.
And they cashed first quarter. Dicker over 1.5. Field goals was a winner. Again, Boswell, nothing. No field goal in the Steeler game push. McManus got me. Longest field goal in the Packer game. McManus missed from 38.
Yep.
His first ever missed in the postseason. McMillan couldn't go over. Nothing from Ertz and nothing from Cooper. Horrible with the props. Mims, loser. The fake punt, that was it. Bucky Irving couldn't go over. Williams couldn't go over. Largest lead, Washington, Tampa under 14.5. Each team touchdown and a field goal. The Houston Charger game a winner. No octopus in the Philly game. And largest lead under 14.5 a winner in the Philly game as well. Just one thing adding, not more. All teams to make a field goal, 5-1. And all teams a touchdown and a field goal, 11-1. Also no good with some of the creative props they had at places. Taking the Nuggets tonight, laying up to 4 now against Dallas. Messed around in the first quarter. We're down big before rallying to put them away in the fourth quarter. They're playing good ball. I think at long term it's a bad move, but short term it's worked out with Westbrook in the starting lineup, and he's been potent from the corner 3. I think Denver gets it done against a short-handed Dallas team tonight.
All right, onward and upward. Puka Nacua over the, trust me, the props for the NFL this weekend. I think I was 0 for. Another loser last night. He had 5. He had 9 targets, but nope.
What happened?
Well,
none of these props, they're crazy. Not the Henry stuff got there, the Barkley, but Barkley didn't even score the touchdown. He slid down. Right. That pissed people off. He was $1.90 anytime.
I saw as high as $3.
Oh my God.
So he was probably, Circa offers a no. That's probably like, I'm not even going to say, but because I don't even know what it was here.
Right.
So, but typically that would have been like plus 250 on a no market, then that would have gotten there. But that game took on a life of its own again last night.
It did.
So once they got up to that huge lead, why would they pass anymore? And
how about that? None of those wide receivers could go over. As we talked about earlier, Hawkinson 15-1 most receiving yards. It was crazy with how these games played out from a prop standpoint.
And a lot of people made the case for Hawkinson because the Rams are really bad at guarding tight ends, and I didn't follow suit. That would have been a nice angle. 2 winners with Jalen Green last night. He was awesome, scored 40+. They won the game. Didn't take as many threes as I thought, but the percentage was awesome. Over 2.5 was a winner, over 3.5. Did a small ladder bet with him last night. Pending Ravens plus 106 money line against the Bills. Ohio State plus 115 to win the national title. As for tonight, Anthony Simons over 3.5 3-pointers plus 102. You actually might be able to find a little bit higher than that at one book right now. But talked about this a little bit earlier. Kid's been blazing hot, playing awesome offensive basketball. 3-point attempts last 5 games. He's averaging 11. He's also shooting 49.1% in that time. making 5.4 of them. He's making them at like an exceedingly high rate, and he's taking a 10, 11, 12 again. Okay, I'm good to go against the bad Nets team. I just need 4. Let's get it done. And this is a prop that I played, kind of an alternate players prop tonight, if you will. Same game parlay on Russell Westbrook. Great numbers last 4 games. I went 10-plus points, 5-plus rebounds, 5-plus assists. That's minus 137 in the game against the Mavericks. Playing a ton of minutes. Got to try to take advantage of this. Well, I'm with you. This is not going to go well in the playoffs, more than likely, unless Joker just plays better than he ever has, because the team's not great overall. But in the meantime, the guy's putting up good numbers, and let's attack it from a betting perspective.
I blew it on the Washington handicap because I thought, okay, well, Lattimore's back, and then Lattimore can take away Evans, and that means a big game for McMillan. And then Tampa plays a lot of zone, so that should open up the middle of the field for Ertz, but that didn't get there. But I forgot Lattimore was going to be rusty.
Well, but also I said this on the show yesterday, and maybe I'm a little bit bitter because I had the same thing. I had McMillan over every which way but loose.
2 catches?
Did it not feel to you that Mayfield was looking at Evans every single drop back?
Yes.
Every time he wanted to go to him, but also...
Not enough. What did Otten do? I didn't see. We only had 2 catches.
I don't think anything,
I saw 1 catch for Otten. It didn't make any sense.
But also, the problem for the Buccaneers was this. The defense could not get it off the field.
Right.
Commanders had the ball for 35 minutes.
I didn't see that one coming. Yeah. Let me get it. What the hell happened?
I will say this while you're looking for it. I want to play Texas A&M tonight.
Yeah?
But 2 things here. It looks like a better number is going to be available before tip in the next 10 minutes. This is going, it's 7.5 at some spots now.
Okay.
Here at Circa, it's 7, like juice is going towards Kentucky.
Ertz had 2 catches. McMillan had 2 catches. Otten had 2 catches. McMillan did go over his long probably. He had a 26-yard catch, though. That's nuts. It's like Baltimore-Pittsburgh. No field goal.
Yeah.
Lutz from 50. That's another one. But how bad would... All right, let me do this first. Getting ready for Big Game 59 with a big deal to match. Save $59 off the VSiN Pro annual subscription when you sign up using promo code FTM. Become a VSiN Pro annual subscriber. Bet smarter all year long with full access. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits, DK and Circa. The dog videos, the bullies. Don't miss out on this big game deal. VSiN.com/subscribe. Promo code FTM. Save $59 off the VSiN Pro annual subscription today. VSiN.com/subscribe. Did you rip Sean Payton yesterday? What was he doing?
Oh, not as
run on first down, run on second down. Oh, guess what? It's 3rd and 8.
Pretty much gave up on the game.
What were you doing? He comes out, he talks to Tracy at halftime. Important part of this game has been time of possession, got to get off the field, and we got to move the sticks. So you're falling behind, you got a rookie quarterback, and you run first down, you run second down every drive. 3rd and short, or 3rd and long, can't get it, punt, back to Buffalo, 8-minute drive. What are you doing?
It happened twice this weekend then. The Vikings punted on the game last night. The Broncos kind of did the same thing. And, oh, by the way, the first touchdown of the game came on that long pass to Franklin.
Right. That's why I thought, they may have a chance here. Nice drive to start, right?
And by the way, you're also, another thing, too, like your running backs do nothing. They're not prolific running backs. They don't produce a lot on the ground game. Nick's had a fantastic rookie season, and you have weapons.
Yeah.
So at some point, you're probably going to have to realize... by the way, defense overrated, as we thought. But you're going to have to score touchdowns to beat that guy. And I thought the game plan overall stunk.
Horrendous. Good job with the fake punt. That worked, but it led to nothing. So you were aggressive there, and then you just go conservative in the second half on every drive. And then with school was out, thing was over then. What a play, Allen, on 4th down. Oh, what a play.
And I also...
Johnson stayed in bounds.
It's an 18-point game last night.
Right.
Crazier things have happened. Plenty of time to go. And they're not running up to the ball. They're taking their time in the huddle. They're running the ball a lot. They waved the white flag.
They did.
The Minnesota Vikings waved the white flag last night in a playoff game.
Couldn't believe it. That's why it sucks to be a Vikings fan. Terrible. When you buy in, you think there's hope. Right in your face. Rub your nose in the dog poop. 14-2, playing for the 1 seed. Can't even win a playoff game. And then humiliated on national television.
Yeah.
And now it's... Can't bring Darnold back. Can't do that. He was so bad the last 2 games.
Probably not.
No way. McCarthy and a Band-Aid. And O'Connell probably with the Eagle will say, I'll get Danny Dimes. I'll make it work
and
with Danny Dimes.
And Flores will take a head coaching job somewhere probably.
Right. I was disappointed in the defense, too. Especially down the stretch. Couldn't stop Detroit.
Right.
Awful last night, too.
All right, primetime is next for the next 4 hours. Von Tobel, Humans, followed by Cashing Out, Joe Sorello. And then VSiN by the books tomorrow, 7 a to 10 a Eastern. Good luck with the bets tonight. We'll see you.